5:30. It's time to start our regular meeting with a roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Here.
Commissioner Barwick.
Here.
Commissioner Webb.
Here.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Here.
Mayor Absher.
Here. Would y'all stand with me and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item 3 on the agenda is public comments or audience to visitors. Mr. Johnson, do you want to speak to the council tonight? Okay, come on up. You were right on the money last time at 5 minutes, so that was impressive.
Well, I'd like some extra time to be sure to get this off, so I don't have to come in 2 weeks. I might not have to come by in 2 weeks. Don't let me forget You won't see Marion up here, Illinois on there, that's for sure. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to start out. Can you hear me with this at all? Is it loud enough? My name is Jimmy Johnson. I'm a Christian, patriotic, constitutional, nationalist American. I'm a Vietnam era veteran with good conduct of war, honorably discharged, and I'm here to try to help save the United States of America. That's why I'm here, because you can see what's going on with all these tornadoes and hurricanes, and all this stuff is all being created by HAARP. I want to go into some of this stuff. Anyway, first I want to tell you a story. In 1973, I was working as a hospital corpsman at a brand new naval hospital down in Memphis, Tennessee, Millington. And I was on the med-surg floor taking care of Lieutenant Commander Bell. And he liked me, and he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Well, I'm from Marion, Illinois." He said, "That's not in Williamson County, is it?" I said, "Yes, it is." He said, "Well, you know, years ago, if you told anybody you were from Williamson County, they didn't want to have nothing to do with you." And so that's what I don't want to see happen here. Anyway, the New Madrid earthquakes were the biggest earthquakes in American history. In the known history of the world, no other earthquakes have lasted so long or produced so much evidence of damage as the New Madrid earthquakes. From December 16, 1811 through March of 1812, there were over 2,000 earthquakes in the central Midwest and between 6,000 and 10,000 earthquakes in the Boot Hill, Missouri, where the New Madrid is located near the junction of the Ohio-Mississippi rivers in the second Egypt, southern Illinois. 5 towns totally disappeared. The 3 major quakes were 8.1, 7.8, and 8.8 magnitude on the Richter scale. Of course, the Mississippi River ran backwards, flooded St. Louis. St. Louis dropped 3 feet, created Reelfoot Lake in Tennessee, and much more. The earthquake today, if there were to be one, could set off a ripple of disasters for the entire country. Marion is located in the New Madrid fault line, or the seismic zone. The great I Am promised not to flood the earth again. However, Satan and his children of the international Luciferian Freemasonic Jewish banking elite will if there is no spiritual protection. Remember, the Ashkenazi Jews are not the Israelites of their Holy Bible. They are the seed of Japheth, not Shem. Genesis 10, verses 1-3. They are not Semites who wrongfully cry anti-Semitism. They adopted Talmudic Judaism only as a state religion. Nobody in their right mind would want to intentionally anger the creator of the universe from disobedience. Yahweh wants the American public warned of satanic devices. Scientists stir up hurricanes and tornadoes using technology to control them since 1947. They are electronically conducted. Covert and complex land and sea bases by microwave transmission sites use weather modification causing floods for whatever they want. They created flooding in Vietnam. They are presently drying moisture up in the western United States. These fires in Wyoming are intentional for the same reason they flooded Asheville, North Carolina. It's basically all for lithium. The largest lithium deposits are in that area, and it also has to do with quartz. Already almost 90,000 acres of Wyoming has been burned and is presently burning, and of course the fake news is keeping tabs on it because they don't want you to hear what's going on or for what reason. HAARP stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. It researches the weather from the high ionosphere for weather warfare. It's the University of Alaska's Fairbanks program, that's where it's at. It is used as a weapon. The electromagnetic beam is used to heat up the Earth's upper atmosphere to cause global warming, to destroy crops, etc., worldwide. That's the cause of global warming, HAARP. They're heating up the ionosphere up. That is the cause. It's got nothing to do with fossil fuels or anything else, except for sun rays. Sometimes the suns will put off flares and stuff. Anyway, one of the largest lithium deposits in the world is located outside Asheville, North Carolina. 2, the largest lithium mining company in the world, 3 days before the flood began, submitted their permits for their mine right outside Asheville, North Carolina. 3, the same mining company was given $250 million in grants to help construction of their mine right outside Asheville, North Carolina. Less than a month before the flood started, BlackRock bought 2.2 million shares of stock in that same mining company. Now, the residents who opposed the mine had their homes and properties destroyed to reduce the amount that can be paid out as compensation. And with eminent domain, owners will be paid even less. Hurricane Helene started September 24, 2024, and ended Sunday, September 29, 2024. Now, on September 21, 1958, America had a Hurricane Helene that went through North Carolina, and it also ended up on September 29, 1958. These things just don't happen by chance. Hurricane Helene was artificially created by using cloud seeding to control and manipulate weather flooding and intentionally devastate those places affected to crash the value of the land there that was mainly owned by Christian white people who are goyim, considered non-Jewish animals to Jews, especially Talmudic Freemasonic Jews. Over 250 people now are now counted as dead, and it's not over. 180 pounds of dry ice, powdered dry ice, CO2, was dropped by an airplane along the cloud line. Please note, and it was the plane was guided over most of the, well, that's Florida. I want to please note that Florida, for instance, there was the central part of it was completely flooded to avoid the Jewish community in Miami. BlackRock wants to buy up Central Florida's homes and properties as cheap as they can get them.
Need to wrap up your comments, please.
Well, I have to come back in 2 weeks.
Well, come back in 2 weeks. You're at 8 minutes, so.
Well, I'm just saying I have a lot to. I'm going to talk about Larry Fink. You know who Larry Fink is?
I do.
Well, anyway, he He's a Freemasonic Luciferian Ashkenazi Jew. He's a member of the Council on Foreign Relations and a Rothschild stooge who is in bed with almost every American elitist. He owns BlackRock, which is worth $10 trillion, which could buy the entire United Kingdom twice over. BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard corporations own each other and are one big giant corporation worth over $20 trillion. They are owned by the European Rothschild family worth over $600 trillion. Presently, all are literally attempting to buy up every home and every property in America to place the American people in apartments in accordance to the Jewish Freemasonic Communist Manifesto. All this treachery I've mentioned has been carried out through the Masonic Lodge, a foreign and domestic enemy to the American people. Treason to the United States, controlled at the top by the European Rothschild and American Rockefeller families. All is no longer in the testing phase now with all this. It's now being fully implemented to bring about the Luciferian Freemasonic Jewish New World Order of one world government. It all must be legally and openly exposed by a military and civilian non-Freemasonic constitutional tribunal here in the heart of the Second Egypt, Marion, Illinois, as treason in the United States, or there will not be any Marion, Illinois, and there won't be. You must hear me out. The Illuminati plans on removing half of southern Illinois by water permanently. You must do as Yahweh through me has spoken to you. Choose the blessing over the curse. Unfortunately, the mayor and Marion City Council has got the square, well, not unknowingly, the mayor and Marion City Council has got the square beautifully constructed for a tribunal to be held in Marion. Billions of dollars in revenue will be brought to our community by all the commerce with shopping, etc. I'm submitting a map, which I have, of the Illuminati's plan to the Marion City Council tonight. The plan is to separate the United States in smaller sections to be governed by Luciferian Freemasonic Jewish banking magnates, not governors, not presidents, not kings, not queens, but Jewish banking magnates, answerable to the European Rothschild family, who are now hiding out in Antarctica. Over half of southern, I'm just almost done here. Over half of southern Illinois, including Marion, is to be covered by water, separating Kentucky and Indiana from Illinois through the Great Lakes and through the St. Lawrence River and Seaway. 90% of Louisiana is to be covered by water permanently, half of Arkansas and the complete boot heel of Missouri, half of southern Illinois from Cape Girardeau area through Illinois to Champaign-Urbana through Iroquois County, all to be permanently flooded. And here is how it's to be accomplished, through HAARP. HAARP is now up to 3 billion watts of electromagnetic energy. If the electromagnetic beam is directed into stone, it causes earthquakes. It will be directed at the New Madrid fault line, and at the same time, hurricanes will come up the Mississippi River, and I'm sure tornadoes will be involved. I believe cell phone towers will be heavily involved in this destruction. We will be bombarded with weather control until the Luciferian Freemasonic Jewish Illuminati elite get exactly what they want. These areas targeted have few Jews in them, but they will sacrifice their own again, as they did in World War II with the Holocaust, for the greater cause of Freemasonic Jewish control of the entire earth with one world government. Again, ensure the 204-page document the Lord Yahweh gave me through Yeshua and the Holy Spirit is in the hands of every household in Marion, so it will be expanded through Illinois and the rest of the United States to abort the Illuminati's plans. They must be stopped, or over 90% of the American people will die due to all their plans to kill us off. Do not make not only Williamson County, but also all of southern Illinois a people the rest of America and the earth will want to have nothing to do with. I hope we still have time before the election. Kamala Harris is a communist, has been a communist for 35 years. If she's elected, all our military heads will be communists, as well as all the rest of the government. Her father taught communism at Stanford University in Stanford, California. Honor Yahweh and be honored. Do not fear. Serve the Most High Creator over men of the world. Consider our families. Consider life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness. And as far as the money is concerned, by sending that out, you'll get that money and much, much more from the commerce that it will bring to this area. There will be billions of dollars brought here to the shops and everything else if you honor God in this. But if you don't, here's the plan. They'll see it through because this election is extremely important. There won't be a Marion, Illinois. We can either blossom or be gone. Because I'm telling you, they hit the New Madrid fault line with this harp and all, we're gone. Because when they have those tornadoes or hurricanes come up the river, we'll all be flooded. We'll be gone. Now, that's their plan. But the alternative is to honor God and be prosperous and have a good life. And don't be afraid. Just tell the truth. Tell the truth. Honor God. Help deliver our people here in this country.
Anyone else? All right, we'll move on to item number 4, which is the consent agenda, items A through B and sub-items. Anyone on the council want any of these items removed from the consent agenda and voted upon separately? Anyone from our audience want any item on the consent agenda removed from it and voted upon separately? We got it, Mr. Johnson, thank you. Okay, hearing no objections, I'd entertain a motion to pass the consent agenda as presented, please.
I make a motion to accept the consent agenda A and B as presented.
Second.
Any discussion on any item or sub-item? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Commissioner Barwick and Chief Fitz.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the recommendation of Chief Fitz to hire Aaron Deaton as a school security officer at the agreed-upon pay rate between the Marion Unit 2 schools and the City of Marion.
I second that.
You have a comment on it? He's not here, so.
Not really, he's not here, but he is a Heron native. His father's a retired police chief from Heron, and he's a retired associate warden for the Federal Bureau of Prisons.
Training was, so he's qualified for this already?
Yes, sir.
What school is he going to be in?
He's going to be in Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Okay, any other questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay?
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 6A, Commissioner Barwick.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the recommendation of the Merit Board to hire Bronson Nestler and Drake Gravatt to 2 open firefighter positions. Terms per the collective bargaining agreement. Both will start on October 21st, 2024.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on this item? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay?
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 7, Commissioner Stecklin.
I would make a motion to approve the purchase of a dump bed and pump assembly for water department truck for $15,213, which is a budgeted item.
Second that?
Any questions on this information you got in your packet on this dump bed?
No.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay?
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Under item 8, economic development, item A, we've got a list in your packet of TIF grant applications, and that's my motion to approve fiscal year TIF grant applications received through October 11th, 2024.
I'll second that.
Any questions on this list? It's shorter and shorter, running out of funds, right? Okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay?
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 8B.
Can I ask one question on that?
Sure.
Just clarification. On the 914 West Main property, does that include the whole facade across from the hub?
Yeah, I believe that's.
Okay, good. Perfect. Thank you.
Item 8B is a TIF 2 redevelopment agreement. It's in your packet here. This is just a residential renovation. I'll move to approve ordinance 3980, a residential TIF 2 redevelopment agreement with the Ruth E. Malone Trust for renovations at 207 North Bentley Street. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion or questions on item 8B?
Is that a retro or is that a new construction?
No, it's an existing home that's being renovated.
Okay.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin,
Yeah.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Under 9, Public Affairs, item A, we were approached by I was approached by Mr. John Will. I think city attorney emailed all of you about this. I'll have John come up if you want and you can ask questions, but as I understand it, you're a timber broker that is arranged for a parcel adjacent to one of ours to be logged with timber, and so you called wanting to know if we would be interested
Yes.
in having our adjacent property. We don't think there's a lot of timber there in terms of thousands and thousands of dollars, but
No,
some
not
money.
on that side, no. Back when Mayor Butler was in and they had the bad deal going on, I did a contract with the city to do it's the old railroad property. And the buyers at that time went as far as north until they hit the bridge, the old railroad bridge, and it was out. So they didn't go any further. Well, I'm just doing the contract on the Dunteman property, which is next to the railroad property, and the current buyers of that property, have made a crossing to get across the creek that feeds into the Saline. And while they are over there, they can get it into the railroad property that belongs to the city, that you can't get into any other way. And I thought while they were in there, they could go ahead and harvest the trees that are in there to make the city some money. Like I said, it's not going to be a whole lot, but
What would be your expectation, or do you have one?
I haven't walked at all, Mayor, because not knowing, what the city is pretty rough in there. I mean, if it could be $300, it could be $3,000. Like I said, it's not a whole lot. Timber is, you and I can stand next to each other and we look the same, but you cut me open and I'm full of cancer, my value goes down real fast. But when I looked in it, there was, just one good white oak, one walnut, and everything else was of the lower grade. Now on the part of the property that had previously been harvested, at that time, I think a lot of the river birch wasn't taken because of not really having much value. And the buyer that is dealing with now, they're international exporters, and we're trying to find a buyer that would be interested in the river birch. If they are, then that could make the city a little bit more money, but that's still waiting. The timber industry is just like corns and beans. The market fluctuates, and goes up and down. But like I said, it was basically while they were in there, if it could make the city some money, you know, might as well do it versus it being in there where nobody could get to it.
Did I hear you, excuse me, did I hear you mentioned that the contractor previously was the same now, or
No, sir,
proposed?
no.
It's not.
The previous buyer was Doug Herring, which was a local buyer, but he's out of business right now, and I just don't deal with any timber buyers. I only deal with those that are reputable, and this buyer here is out of Perryville, Missouri. Like they're driving 2 hours just to get to the Dunsman property, and I write up the contracts. I'm a retired conservation police officer. I spent 25 years dealing basically in a lot of the commercialization of the timber industry. I grew up in Marion. I left in '73, came back after I retired, and trying to, you know, just help landowners, because majority of them don't know the difference between a walnut and a maple. And like I said, dealing with the industry and the law enforcement aspect of it, I've, you know, like I said, tried to help the landowners make the, you know, the best money that they can. You know, you'd be welcomed. I told Wendy she could do a field trip and come out and look at what I was talking about, but you know, like I said, it's not really a lot there. It's a shame. You know, talked to the mayor several years ago, right after he took the oath of office. Couldn't been around on the other deal, because I think on the railroad property, I remember taking the checks to the mayor and probably made 10% of what the city got on the other deal, 7 acres versus 2,000. So it's not, like I said, it is what it is. But I was just here, if you want to do it, that's fine. If you don't, I did go in and mark some of the trees after I talked to the mayor, so in case anything that was cut, it's marked so we know it'd come, you know, to the city and not, you know, the adjoining landowner.
When they cut the tree, they're gonna take the trunk of the tree,
Yes, sir.
all the limbs and things. What do they do with that? Will they just leave it lay?
It just lays on the ground, makes wildlife habitat. The logs are taken. There is I did put a part in there about pulp. That's where a lot of times they take the smaller limbs that goes to a mill in Wickliffe, Kentucky. There's a pulp mill, but it's pretty limited right now, and they only take from certain ones, and there really wouldn't be a whole lot there.
Mayor, wasn't that a problem in the past? I never did go down and look, but when they come in and took the trees, it looked like a bomb had went off.
It was a mess. I don't know on this, but this is about a 50-foot wide strip of property.
Yeah, maybe.
There's not a whole lot of access. It sounds like there would be as a railroad bed, but I don't think there really is contiguous access all the way down it. I mean,
It's like, we always went kind of like a 50-foot line from the center of the whole railroad bed. It's being, after talking to Wendy, you know, a lot of the logs will be taken out down the old railroad bed because of it being able to, you know, handle the equipment and everything. But no, a lot of logging can look like initially an atomic bomb went off, but this isn't a clear cut. It's only cut. If you look at the contract, it's only select timber. A lot of the timber areas, after a few years, you can't really tell that it was even logged, but in the question that you have in reference to the Marion property, that wasn't harvested properly, and that's why you had that situation, which was no fault from this city council or present mayor.
Don't think on this particular strip of property, no more trees than they're gonna take, it's gonna be a big deal. But
You can't access it now anyway unless you want to go down a deep ravine and get back up
Yeah.
on it. Like the city attorney and I was talking, I said, well, I doubt if anybody's been back in there. And she said, probably not even in 35 years. And there are a couple large oaks in there. Won't know the value of them until really look at them. I mean, they have probably a 50-inch diameter. If they look like they can cut well, then there'll be a lot of board footage in those too. So they've been back in there for quite a while. But growing up around the railroad bed, where you have a lot of iron from the railroad bed, that gets up into the timber, then that devalues the timber quite a bit because of the stain that pops up in it. So like I said, it's a minimal amount of money. It was just, while they were in there, if it could make the city some money, fine. If not, fine also.
So the railroad right away, as it comes up the hill or up the slope, flattens out where the train used to go, back down the hill. Did you say you were going to use that top where the rails were as a
Yes.
haul road, if you will?
Yeah, on farther down, on the Duntman property, there's a levee that makes it accessible. And then I talked about to them as far as getting trespass things where they can cross back instead of going through crop fields. They can go down the railroad right of way like they did previously. The timber buyer is licensed by Illinois. He's bonded, and he also has liability insurance. I think it's $5 million.
that's what the contract says.
So the city is not, that they're not an employee of the city.
So you'll have to cut out a pathway to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, it's pretty well already cut out.
Is it? Just nothing grows there because of the old railroad bed, right?
Right, and then been used before. The only thing that is doing presently was putting some culverts. There's a little feeder ditch that is on the east side of the tracks that they'll cross in order to get up on the railroad bed to come on out. In essence, it'd make it, in case the city ever did want to utilize it for something, then you would have a way of getting back in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's the feeder creek that feeds into Saline that's in question is on the west side of the railroad right of way, which makes it any landowners on the west side having access to the railroad, they can't. And then on farther down, then that's where the feeder creek makes a jump back to the east and goes onto the Duntman property. And that's where the old railroad bridge was, which is gone completely. And so they've come around and made a crossing on the Duntman property, then which allows access to the city property, because there'd be no other way that if you wanted to go back in there and do anything, you couldn't do it. The city couldn't unless they would have permission to come through on the Duntman property.
Right.
Because it borders in the feeder creek dumps into the saline. And the reason a lot of it hadn't been logged is because it's in that floodplain. And in August, we hadn't had any rain, and so they went in there on the Dunstman, and then we got that 7 inches of rain, which kind of slowed everything down for a couple weeks. Because if not, they would probably, pretty well been done with the Dunstman property and moved on east, and wouldn't even been any need to get in on the city, because they'd been gone. But the way the weather is, it's still,
So can the timber that wants to be, or the company wants to harvest, is it accessible without the railroad property?
yeah,
Or
they're in there.
Does the railroad make it easier for the contract buyer?
The railroad bed, where they are at right now, yes. As far as getting the logs out, once they take the levee that is on the Dunstman property, they then enter a crop field for approximately a quarter of a mile from there up to the hard road. So instead of utilizing the crop field cut across, where then they can get up on the railroad right of way and drive on the rest of the way and not have to deal.
Take
Makes
it out.
it easier.
Take it out the other direction, basically.
Well, you could, yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
could-
mentioned culverts. Will the buyer or the harvester, will he put the culverts in at his
Yeah,
expense?
Yeah,
Or will that come
it'll
out of our
cost-
profit?
No, it's already been working on, because I told them, if this goes through, then they can, because they're.
And they'll leave the culverts in place once they leave, or will they take them back out?
As part of, they take them out. The timber laws of the state provide that you do not, can't mess up waterways where it would cause flooding or anything along that line. So they put the culverts in, of course, to allow the water flow, but everything is returned as close
To how it was, okay.
how it was. Like I said, that was part of my job, and that's why I write up the contracts. And it don't, like I said, it don't cost the city anything. I don't charge the city. The city is not responsible for anything. It's just, you take the check for whatever logs come off of there.
So the Illinois State Harvest Fee, which is listed at 4%,
That
does
comes out of the
that come out of ours or
growers.
theirs?
Comes out of the growers.
Okay.
That's from the illustrious Illinois government.
They gotta have their hand in everything, don't they? Crazy.
It's called a harvest fee. It was supposed to be utilized for landowners if you wanted to turn around and go in and plant some more trees. But for some reason, that money isn't there now.
Shock.
For something else. I did check to see if the city would be exempt from it, being a government agency, but it's only a federal government exempt.
Okay. Thank you for all that explanation. So,
And you'll be overseeing the operation.
Yes, sir. They can give me the check if you want it, along with the scale tickets. The scale tickets are, shows the species log type of, the type of log, the grade, the amount of board feet that was in it, and the price paid. And what I do with the other landowners, like Mr. Dunstman, they give me the check, the scale tickets. I make sure everything is on the up and up that way, and then I deliver the check to the landowner. If you want it done that way, I'd be happy to, or if you want the check mailed to the
Do
mayor.
they bring their own
I think that would be
scales, or do they utilize scales in the area?
No, when we were talking about scale, there's not a weight scale. This timber is not being sold by the ton, it's purchased by the board foot. And what there's a ruler that you measure the diameter and length of the log. And that gives you the number of board feet that is in that log. So say, for example, there's 100 board feet in this particular log. If it's a low end where they're making a pallet or a railroad tie out of it or something, it may bring the city 10 cents to 15 cents a board foot, $10, $15 that you would get. But if that is a walnut log and it's a high end, what they call veneer, I saw a log the other day that was 1,100 board feet. It brought $7 a board foot, so $7,000 for that one log. The landowner got $4,200. He got 60% of that. So that's why.
Do you inspect each one of these loads then?
No, that's where I said I trust
So
who
it's-
I'm dealing
Okay.
with, because guys I know that deal with, if I catch them doing anything wrong, you know, I would be on the phone to the local officers, and because they know I know the law, because like I said, I enforced it for 25 years. But these people that, like I said, I deal with are not going to do that, because word of mouth is the best advertising. And also I put in the contracts, if you catch them doing anything wrong, that contract is voided and they're out of there. But once again, with what you have, if a timber buyer came and just had what you had, they wouldn't even look at it, because it wouldn't merit bringing the equipment and the things in there. Like I say, it's just something to help Marion make a little bit of money.
This buyer, or, yeah, how do you pronounce the last name?
Rehagen,
Just like it's, okay.
yeah, Rustic Woods Incorporated.
Okay.
So they're international exporters. They may be sending stuff to Germany or whatever. They're not. They have their own mill also. So, but no, all the logs are scaled, and then they are graded. So a white oak log can be scaled at 100 board feet, say, once again, but depending upon the quality of that log, it could bring you 10 cents, or it could bring you $7. It just depends on the grade of it. And the audience did ever want to, like I said, well, I don't think the city has any more property. Do you have something in Polk County?
Me?
No, the city.
Oh, I don't think so. I hope not.
Okay, I'm trying to.
Why would we have
I'm trying to
something?
remember if it was Williamson County or Marion. A guy sent me his, I thought it was in Polk or maybe Saline.
That's
County.
news to me if we do. But let me know if you find something, we'll sell it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the timber sales contract with Kurt Rehagen, doing business as Rustic Wood Products Incorporated.
Second that.
Any other questions? Well, John is here. One thing, that contract says we're supposed to have a $5 million liability insurance policy. Could we get a copy of that before they start work? Just so we,
I'll get a hold of it.
if it's easy enough, just to email it or something. If
Well,
not,
I can have him email it to Wendy.
that's fine. Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Thank you very much.
Decided how you want me to do on those checks?
Whatever's easiest for you, I think we'd be comfortable with.
Okay.
Unless somebody's got another objection. I'm looking to Doug because he's the finance guy.
I would say just give us a copy of what you get as far as your scale tickets and all.
Yeah, because reason I'm on it is because I charge the buyers
Yeah,
a fee for
Yeah.
buying it, so I'm gonna make sure.
Sure.
You know, that's
Sure.
another thing on that.
just let us do the math once we get the checks.
Sure.
And
No,
we got the backup, that's fine.
No problem. All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Item 9B, it's that time of year where we have to renew property and casualty insurance. We've been with Risk Management Association. This is a risk pool, and what that means is just like our health insurance, that it's whatever our claims experience is dictates our rate increase. And unfortunately, we have had some claims this year. This is, again, work comp, auto liability, general liability, auto, and naturally property. So this represents an 8% increase over last year. We are very happy, I think we can say confidently, with Risk Management Association and the other services that they provide us. So this will have to be, this increase worked into next year's budget. But that's my motion, that we approve the insurance renewal quote, which is work comp and P&I, with IML's, there are a lot of acronyms in this motion, with IML's Risk Management Association. And then Doug, we've got to decide, I think they give us some payment options there. I think we've always, or in the past, we've paid it in whole, so we get that
Yeah,
1% savings. We save
Right.
$10,000.
yeah.
But again, this, if we do that, the premium's $1,065,294.
I'll second that.
Did you say 1,065,294?
Yeah. But we can save $10,652.94 if we pay it by November 15th. That should be in your packet there too, the invoice. We'll give the invoice to Lance, but
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
unless anybody's got an objection, I'd just soon save the 1% like we have in the last 2 years. This is our third year of renewal. Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 9C, you guys might recall, I think 2 years ago, we gave a grant to Southern Illinois Coalition for the Homeless for emergency and cold weather housing vouchers. I believe that was $25,000, $25,000. Frankly, that they pinched pennies and let that money stretch out for a little while, but those funds are exhausted and we are entering cold weather. That relationship's worked out rather well, that we refer folks to them that are in an emergent situation. And so they have asked for, and it'd be my motion that we approve an additional grant of $10,000 using some remaining ARPA funds that we have to Southern Illinois Coalition for the Homeless for emergency homeless vouchers. Emergency housing vouchers.
I'll second that.
Any questions on this? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Okay, item 9D requires a little bit of explanation. Might raise your eyebrows a little bit. We're talking about roof repairs to City Hall. That's why I want to explain it. Because we just, 13 months ago, moved into this building, but you might recall this is 2 buildings. The main original bank building and then what I call the Western Auto building. I don't remember, I was a little bitty kid when it was Western Auto, probably maybe. But it's that building we're talking about. And there's actually 3 components to this. What Cody and I are calling the ATM building is the building they built out here to the southwest corner that housed their ATM equipment, and that's what you walked up to the ATM. We are now housing the codes department in it. The last component is the bank canopy back here, the drive-through. So when we started this project, it was 3 years ago. At that time, the roof wasn't leaking, at least that we knew of. And it was under, at least part of that, we think, was under a warranty at that point because it had a 20-year warranty on the vendor that did it before. Well, talk about engineered obsolescence. So flash forward, pardon the pun, that's what I did there, till the last big rain we had, and we had a water intrusion in that building and the ATM building. Unfortunately, the water intrusion was probably at the worst possible place because it happened to be where Terrence's server room is at. And we are very fortunate that it didn't do any damage to the servers, thanks to some quick thinking on a lot of people's parts. But this is pretty acute, and almost to the point that I called a special meeting, but I wanted to wait and see what we could get in terms of bids. Which is my other point, which we've been waiting all day on the second bidder, who we've spent a lot of time between me, Cody, and Brian Fisher walking the vendors around this. And the second bidder that we thought all day was going to turn in a bid didn't. Vaughn's Roofing has turned in 3 different bids. I gave them to you here. I just got them today. This west building, of course, is the biggest project. This requires stripping off of the existing membrane, which is a 60 mil membrane, replacing also the cover board. The problem with these is I'm sorry if you guys know all this already, but I had to learn it, so just in case. Once you have a pinhole in these and the insulation underneath gets wet, then that backing starts to deteriorate and you end up with a soft spot. So that stuff needs to be replaced too. They have patched that roof for now, so if we had a big rain, I don't think we would be under the same problem. But at the end of the day, this is now 20 years old and it really needs to be replaced the same way on the ATM building and certainly on the canopy, because I'm not sure we ever scoped the canopy out right when we did this project. It was just sort of out of sight, out of mind type thing. But nonetheless, all 3 of them really need to be replaced. These 3 bids, these are the only bids we received, unfortunately, despite our efforts. They total $114,305. That's my motion, that we approve these with Vaughn's Roofing. This will be paid out of the capital replacement fund that we've set aside funds for now for 3 years for just these kinds of repairs. It is not a general fund expenditure.
I'll second that.
Second that.
Any questions about this or concerns about not getting the other bid? It's tough.
We'll have future repairs to the drive-through once.
I think that's going to be, so there's some drive-it on the south side of that canopy that got wet that needs to be retroweled, but it's not going to be, I don't think, anything on this scale, and it'll probably be under my spending authority, so I'll probably already approve it. By the way, speaking of that, I've already approved some tuck pointing on this parapet wall. If you walk out this building, this door right here, and you see that access door, that's where we're talking about. There's a parapet wall that runs all the way around it with capstones on top of it and flashing, and it needs some tuck pointing. I've already approved that repair for about $11,300 on that, because that wall was getting wet, and that's also part of our problem, that it was coming down into that area. So anyway.
I have a question.
Yeah.
This west estimate is dated 7/2, expires.
Great question. So I got an updated quote today, but the one I printed off was from July. That's when we first thought we had a problem. We had it patched, then we didn't have a problem, then we had a problem again. So, but I talked to them today, and this quote
Same
is
price?
still good, yes. These other 2 quotes were new as of a couple of weeks ago. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stefan.
Yay?
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 10, Commissioner reports. Doug, we'll start with you tonight.
I think I'm good, Mayor. We're good down to the Treasurer's office.
Okay, just to be different, Jim, I'll run to the other end of the table.
Yeah, street department, put new storm sewer, just finished it on Econo Lodge. In behind the Econo Lodge, it's about 220-foot long pipe, so it was a big one. Pavement patching we're doing on Gregory and Fair is where we're making several cuts that people live out in that neighborhood, so trying to get that sealed up for the winter, so. Worked on catch basin repair on Madison Street, worked on sidewalks and drainage on Goodall Street.
Is that me?
I don't know who that is.
Oh.
Also, we've done some striping on all the parking lots that we resealed, so that's looking good as well. So, we did get our new street sweeper last Friday, and we've had it out and running, and I've seen it running, and it's
Does a great
doing
job.
a good job, yeah. So that's,
A lot
but
more maneuver, or I guess it's more convenient for us not to have to haul it around on the trailer like
Yeah.
that other one if it breaks down or something.
so it's, yeah, they're really bragging on it. It's doing a good job. So, as far as cemetery, we had 13 burials in September. That's all I have.
Mr. Barwick.
Got a report from the Marion Fire Department. For the month of September, we had 13 100 series fire calls, 6 300 series rescue and EMS calls, 7 hazardous condition no fire, 7 service call, 26 good intent call, 26 activated alarms, 1 severe weather and natural disaster call. And they did 4 annual safety inspections. And we had, with the floods and the hurricane down in Florida, we had sent 4 firefighters and a fire truck down to assist them, and they made it back fine. They were there just a few days, a little less than a week, but we chipped in to help do what we could do. So proud of the fire department. And at the Marion Police Department for the month of September, we had 34 city ordinance violations, 182 criminal/traffic citations, 22 warrant arrests, 263 incidents reported, 168 traffic accidents, and 8 DUIs. During the month of September, we had 1,725 dispatched calls, 2,104 911 calls, 4,301 non-emergency calls, and 138 ambulance calls. That's all I have.
Okay, Mr. Steckman.
Okay, Water Department reports 5 meter pits were repaired, replaced, 5 water leaks repaired, 4 services were updated, 2 new water taps done, 2 hydrants were repaired. We're continuing the landscaping, concrete road patches from the prior jobs, trying to get that done for Halloween so kids aren't tripping on anything. From the pavilion, we want to thank people for their patience because of all the construction out there that's going on. It's been a little difficult to get in and out of there, so we appreciate you being patient with that. The bathrooms are coming along. They're just about completely finished now. The front 2 are done. The new seating groups are in. They look great. The video board is up. And I talked with Terrence just a little bit about that. He had the idea. We're going to approach some businesses around town because, correct me if I'm wrong, we can control those centrally, the content that's on these things, and we can use them for city announcements, things like that. So we're thinking, restaurants, places like that might put them up, they can use them, but then we can also put city things on them. So, and he can control it all from here.
You're talking about the message board at the pavilion?
Yeah, inside.
Yeah. So are you talking about charging advertising to businesses to put their
No,
message up there?
No.
Okay.
We're asking them to put one up. And,
Oh, I see
and
what
then
you're saying.
We can
In
use that
their
as
business.
How
How much are those?
How much are those?
It's a little device about this size, it's about $300 or $400.
Yeah, it just streams it
So
out.
it just attaches to a smart TV.
Yeah, and then lets him control all the content on it. So it'd be nice for any announcements.
So we'd have to buy the TV too?
We don't have to buy
We don't have to. A lot of times they already have them.
I see.
We can utilize their system, just
Okay.
this piece that we add to it, correct? That allows us to connect them.
So if they've got stuff that playing on it already, would this just come on every so often and loop through, or would it take over their TV?
It would take over.
It would take over that one TV.
Oh, okay. So TVs aren't really all that expensive anyway, even
No.
if we had to
No,
do that, if they'll allow us.
they're not yet. And then the Civic Center, been really busy with shows, and just reminding everybody that Christmas shows are out there right now. So if you want to get some good Christmas things to get in there, get your tickets coming up. So that's all I got.
2 things I wanted to mention. One, we are substantially done with the square renovations and are having the street department out there trying to clean up get some of the dust and grime from construction away for our homecoming parade, which is this Friday, weather permitting, which it looks like it's going to be a perfect day for a parade, a little cool maybe. So we're happy for that. The only remaining piece, which I think they'll resume tomorrow, is the stringing of what I'm calling the bistro lights in the alleys. There's 2 of those that are already done. If you guys want to, they're not lit yet, but if you want to see the layout of those over here in Paradise Alley and then
South Paradise. Or East Paradise.
East Paradise. I'm not sure. I don't think that's called. Maybe it is Paradise Alley, over by John Brown's and Fox's. So if you want to look at those, I think they're going to resume that tomorrow. So again, I know I said it last time. I want to thank all of our merchants, especially for all their patience for really what's been 3 years of a construction project. And while I'm sure that they are happy to see it done, I assure you that no one is happier to see it done than I am. So glad that that is complete. So now we'll have to figure out what's next.
Looks great, by the way.
Thank you. Second thing, just as a kind of a shout out, we had a custodian at the Senior Citizen Center, Club 60, that the director, Jill, was telling me about, and I took this young man a challenge coin and a thank you card because I thought it was so cool. And I know lots of organizations are doing this, but he had asked off, I guess, a week ago Friday, a little bit early, because he had personally collected relief supplies and wanted to drive them down himself to North Carolina. And so I just thought that was a heck of an effort, and I told him in his card, that was Nick Clark at the Senior Citizen Center. He's a great employee there, and obviously he's a great person for doing that, and so just wanted to call him out with a shout out publicly. Proud of him and proud that he's part of the City of Marion. Anything else to come before the council under miscellaneous? Chief?
Two things. For starters, to all the naysayers out there, the square looks great.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So, anyway, we have started to notice an issue, especially in dispatch, of information on businesses of the owners and the key holders is old or outdated, or we just don't even have it. So we created a form that was put on the city website today. Cody turned it into a fillable PDF. So for any businesses in Marion, if you would, go to the City of Marion's website and go to the Stay Alert section, and please fill out that information and then get it back to us at the PD. And really all we're asking for is an emergency contact and a key holder for your business in case alarms are going off, we have some kind of emergency, a fire or whatever. So that will help us and our dispatch tremendously. Thank you.
Is that something you want us to put out on social media as well? Already did?
We
Okay.
already have.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
very good. Thank you.
What about spectacular?
Yeah.
I should have thought of that, shouldn't I? Yes, the 8th annual Spooktacular is Saturday, October 26th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Mountain Dew Park. Once again, we are partnering with, I don't even know what to call it, Black Diamond, Oasis, whatever, and they've been fantastic to work with. So please come see us. And it's not too late if you want to if a business wants to be a trunk, get a hold of us at the PD and we would love to have you.
Very good. Anyone else? Anything else to come before the council under miscellaneous, item 11? Anyone have a need for a closed or executive session this evening? I do not. All right, hearing no need, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'd make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Steffler.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Thank you all.
Hey guys, don't leave. I need your sizes.